Oh my gosh, we've got Las Vegas, Puerto Rico is in the house, Venice, Florida. Saturday you had a pop-up, Venice, Florida. That's awesome, Carol. Amazing, amazing. I had one actually in the Bay Area in San Francisco. So I am back from fresh travel as well. So awesome. Welcome. Okay, you guys, my name is Susan Manuello, and I'm going to be kicking us off tonight. We have an incredible promotion that is starting today. It's running for an entire month. And, coming out of conference, I know a lot of us have our hair on fire. We are sharing these products and sharing the business. And one of the building blocks of our business, really the core of what we do is K pop-ups. It's, getting people in a room, whether or not that's an online room or a living room or a coffee shop or etc., and sharing these incredible products with others. So, we as a team with Team 1%, Tim Her and Chris Kim, and all of our incredible directors have come together and we are doing a challenge. And so, I'm going to pull up actually just the slides so you can see. If you haven't seen it yet, this is what we're doing right now. So, definitely be sure that you're connected to the Facebook Team 1% group so that you can not only see this information, but you can participate in this awesome challenge. So again, it's running from today, August 17th through September 17th. And you have a whole month to start partying. So who likes to party? Put a one in the chat if you like to party, actually. I want to see a bunch of ones. I like to party. Okay, I'm in good company. You guys like to party too. See? So this is what we're doing. This is going to be so much fun. If you host a pop-up, either in person or online, you will be entered into a weekly drawing for cash and prizes. And you guys, there's no limit to how many parties that you can do. So if you like to party, this is the challenge for you, okay? So how are you going to do this? What you're going to do is you're going to learn tonight about some amazing ways to host a pop-up, strategies for follow-up, all kinds of great information. Then you're going to plan a pop-up, whether or not this is your first one or your 15th one. You're going to plan pop-ups for the next month. And when you have a minimum of three guests, you're going to take a picture. You got to make sure that you can take video, but you're going to make sure you at least take a photo too. And then you're going to post that in the Facebook Team 1% group, and it's a pinned post. So that's going to go up. You're going to be able to document your awesome party, and that's how you get entered into the weekly drawings. And there's going to be, again, drawing every single week for the entire month. So are you guys excited? Does this sound, oh, thank you, Christy, for posting the Team 1% group link. I hope you guys are excited. This is going to be amazing. Yes, it is super cool. And so tonight we are going to have just some training and share with you guys some of our experiences, ways that you can, really take this challenge, have fun with it, win some cash and prizes, but the biggest win is growing your business. Can we agree? Right? Is getting product on people's skin, getting your business going up and to the right. And so that is the whole point of doing this together as a team. And my topic, if you will, is why they matter. And I think, it's kind of goes without saying, but truly, like I said a second ago, it is one of our building blocks of our business is getting people together and getting these products on their skin. And there's a reason that we have the tagline, experience the difference that you love, right? Or that you'll love. And so when you launch your business, whether or not, again, it's the beginning or the middle of your business, whenever you have your start date, doesn't matter. This is the core way for you to get people to experience these products. And when you do it online, which we're going to have a training here down the Zoom a little bit about more detail on that, but you can do it without product, right? You can beat your box. So as soon as you sign up, you can do it before your product even arrives. Or if you have product, you can still reach people outside of your state, outside of where you live, and do it on this amazing platform that we're doing tonight's call on. But when you have an in-person event, that is when the magic happens because you truly get to have people experience these products. And so, there's social proof out there of this. Like when you think about the immersive experiences. I'm sure you've seen them. Maybe you've even been to them. I know I went to Van Gogh. Yes, you can go look at paintings, but how cool is it that there's immersive experiences now where you go and the paintings are all around you, right? Have you seen those online? Another example of this is like pop-up Christmas bars. Like every holiday season, I see the next place where there's actually a pop-up of Christmas and you get to go and experience it with everything from the drinks to the, outfits to the pictures. It's a whole experience, right? Another one is this brand new tea shop in Denver. I haven't been yet. They're in soft launch, but you guys, it's a tea house that, of course, they have like other spa experiences, but the whole thing is like you go and get tea, and it has this like tea river experience that leads you to these really cool rooms. It's a whole thing. So we're the same. We get people to come to our pop-ups and experience our Riman products. So when you are doing that, you're really wanting to play on people's senses. And we have obviously five senses. So they get to see it, they get to feel it or touch it by having them actually try the products, do the Riman ritual. They get to smell it and they get to hear all about it from, you explaining it. You can play a video, keep it really simple. You don't have to be an expert. And then hopefully they're not going to eat it, but you're going to have some amazing, tasty treats for them to get the full experience of your party. And so I'm just excited to see how many of these pop-ups that we can do as a team. And I know I'm challenging myself. So I would want to ask you, what is your goal? We're going to have definitely a shout out at the end of this call. So be thinking about like, what is your schedule? Kids are going back to school. Things are a little busy, but then all of a sudden when that happens, your schedule frees up a little, right? So how many Zoom parties can you do? How many in-person parties do you think you can do? Start writing that down as you listen to the rest of this amazing training tonight so that you can have, after this call, a clear plan of action. And you guys, I'm so excited to see what everyone accomplishes this month. So before I go, I'm going to share just two pro tips with you that have helped me when I've done my K-pop up parties. Okay, so my pro tip number one is have your guests, like after everyone, comes and they're visiting, and maybe you have a few snacks before you do your mini facials. They might have some dirty hands. I don't know. Maybe this is just a pet peeve of mine. Have them start by washing their hands with our body wash. It is so fun because, first of all, like I said, they can start with clean hands. They're going to be touching their face, they're going to be touching all the products. So they're going to have clean hands and they get to smell and use and experience the body wash. And it's so cool because right away it sets the tone. They're like, oh my gosh, this is like a spa smell. I'm like, yes, you get to turn your shower into a spa. So that is my pro tip number one. My pro tip number two is do a giveaway, even if it's small. It doesn't even have to be product. You can go to the Five Below store or, do the headbands or something super fun. But I love to do the multi-balm stick as a fun door prize giveaway because these are affordable. You can use your Remon dollars, and I kind of call them the gateway because once people start using this, even if they haven't bought your product, they're immediately hooked on Remon. So those are my pro tips. And now I'm going to hand it off to our national director, host of our Team 1% party himself, Mr. Chris Kim. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Miss Susan Manuello. Our beautiful beauty queen has opened up the call. Let's give her a one in the chat box. We appreciate her so much, her servant leadership, and we're just grateful to you. Thank you so much, Miss Susan. Welcome, Team 1%. What a wild ride it's been. Probably the past 10 days, right? We've had some massive momentum coming out of the Las Vegas convention, and I believe this convention is a turning point for many of us. I've gotten so much feedback that this is the best convention yet. And we have so much action-packed things happening with product launches and things like that. So we felt that it was appropriate that we got with all the directors and created a little incentive just for our team, just so we could, kick off, the production right this month and come out with a bang and set you guys up for the next convention. So with that said, there's a little golden nugget trainings I wanted to do tonight. I'm going to share a few things, but the first thing I want to share is really intentionally creating momentum. So how do we create momentum, right? So how do you turn a K-pop into more customers, connections, recruiting? How does that all correlate into that, right? So I wanted to talk about first and foremost, we're sometimes, when we're brand new in the business, we're so caught up with the repetition or the script that we're given, right? But what I found out works more is to learn to ask and do with intention. What that means is sometimes, a lot of the times where I got most of my business, even though there's a sense of urgency and excitement is there, I always got the best results when I met the prospect where they are. So whether it was the energy or whether it was lack of being able to sample the product because they came with makeup on, whatever the case may be, I always made it an intention to make it all about the guest, not about me, the guest. I am just the messenger. I am a vessel of Riman. That's how I always took it. And so if it was like a one-on-one meeting at a Starbucks, I would intentionally do it on their hand, right? Because they're going to get a result on their hand. But I met them where they were. Now, if we were at a K pop-up, right, then things are a little bit different, right? So, the best way to do this is understanding the concept of what's in it for me. So when someone comes, we have to really deep dive and understand the science and the nature of how someone actually feels. And the person, like Brianna Michaels talks about transfer of emotion, but the person that could subtly address that and make a prospect feel comfortable, maybe welcomed, and you remove the fear, that is the first step, I believe, in opening somebody up. So I believe it's all about prospecting, spending the time, doing things with intention and not being too pushy, right? And also, what I found out in some of these K pop-ups is you can get more production just by asking, hey, do you know anybody that would be open to making a little extra income? Do you know anybody that would be willing to try K beauty? And a lot of the times, if you're nice and you make people feel welcome and not uncomfortable and pushy, they'll either, put your time into perspective and be a customer and buy from you, or they will gladly introduce you to a customer or possibly somebody that wants to be a planner. And I've seen this time and time again, and it's always about, it's not necessarily what you say or the information you deliver. It's not what you say, but it's how you actually made somebody feel, right? So, Mr. Brian Tracy talks about this all the time. When we're selling a product and we're a part of a company, you have to naturally assume that the company is going to make good products and price it right, right? So ultimately, what is the difference maker? What is the deciding factor for somebody to make a decision when they come to your K pop-up? It's feelings. It's selling, being able to sell feelings, that emotion, that transfer of emotion. And when you make somebody feel good, comfortable, then the secondary part is making a commitment to buy. Okay. Now, when it comes to in-person K pop-ups and inviting and all about getting people in the room, Miss Susan Manuelo said something very, very important, right? People have a sign on their forehead and it's WIIFM and it's called What's in It for Me. Unfortunately, we're all by nature, selfish animals because we have to take care of our own. We're responsible for our own. And, we're not really in the space of being able to think for others unless we intentionally do it. But if you would be able to have that mindset of understanding when people come to your K pop-up or people are asked to come, they will have naturally by instinct the what's in it for me. And what I saw that worked well was maybe little giveaways, incentives, maybe a charcuterie board, whatever it is. It's all about setting the tone. How you do anything is how you do everything, and it's all about giving your all and making that person feel like you gave them your best. A lot of the times, it's not really about the price point, the quality of the product, or any of that. Most of the time, it's about how you make an individual feel before the paradigm shift. Before a paradigm shift happens, they're extremely uncomfortable. They don't know what to expect, a little bit scared, a little bit doubtful, but a little bit hopeful as well, right? So until the, full paradigm shift happens, that is why it's important to understand what's in it for me and just focusing on catering to people. Another thing I want to touch upon is we came out of the convention with a bang, right? The emotion is high, everybody's excited. But, when we talk about K pop-up, I want to reiterate, you got to have the goods. You got to have all the new stuff. Think about it, right? With you having the new product on hand, Just that alone is a difference maker, whether someone else is going to join your business or they're going to join someone else's team that someone else prospected as well. So it's absolutely important to have the upper hand, know what you're doing, stay ahead of the curve, and give people a great experience. So with that said, I wanted to share a little tip on what you can do to maximize your K pop-ups. Listen, the base foundation to being successful in this business is two things. Okay, mastering the K pop-up and mastering how to promote a senior manager. You become one and you promote one. So with that said, all of the leaders here, we're extremely excited to ignite your business, throw some gasoline on the fire. And when the iron is hot, we understand that you must strike now. So with that said, I want to thank everybody. And I'd like to bring up our next speaker. Uh, am I bringing up Miss Abby? Is Abby next? Yes, Miss Abigail Meister. She is, a power hitter in our organization, a true leader in the industry. So with that said, gives me the honor to bring up Miss Abigail Meister. Welcome to the call. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. And I just want to get started by piggybacking off what Chris said about how it's so important when we come into this business to master the K-pop up and getting to senior manager. And when I came into this business about almost 3.5 years ago, my back was up against the wall. Where I was at, my paycheck was radically dipping. And at the time, I was the sole income earner. I had just gotten married and we had just bought our dream home. And my husband had just lost his job. Things were scary, things were tight. And when I saw this opportunity with Riman, I knew I had to take it. I knew this was going to be incredible. However, I was not allowed to post on my social media for 1 year, and I was not allowed to recruit a team that I had built for the last 12. So I couldn't take my network and I couldn't post on social media. And so let me tell you tonight, I was able to go director in, I think it was five months. And that was done through the initial model of the K-pop party. And the first one I had was with intention that I was starting the business and I wanted to bring a team with me. We lead with the product here, and I absolutely led with the product and the opportunity at the same time. I picked up the telephone. I called some friends who had local influence with women, and I said, come over to my house. I have the world's #1 Korean skincare. We got to wash our face together. Guys, I hadn't looked at any information on the product. Some of you all are still watching product universities and you haven't had a conversation with anybody yet. I didn't have time for that because I had to make money. So I started talking to people before I ever learned about the product, but I knew I could put it on my face. So I had two girlfriends over and we had a sink and we had product, and that's all you need to have a K-pop party. And they came over. We hit the little video with the Korean woman doing the step-by-step stuff. We'd hit it, play, pause. Because I didn't know. I didn't know what to say about anything. But I had the little video. And those two women wanted to go with me on this journey. It wasn't me looking down and saying, you can come where I'm coming. No, we were just getting started together. They caught the energy, they caught the vision, and they got it on their face. And all of us were glowing, and we went together. And in that one instant, having two friends over to a sink, I hit senior manager. They both bought 4 packs each because we were together and we were planning. We were going to do events. We were going to need product. We were going to do K-pop parties. And I tell you, that couldn't have happened on a phone call. And so that hit fast and they were off to the races. And then guess what? That replicated. Then they were having women over to their sinks to wash their face. And then we saw some woman named Karen who would have like 8 or 10 women, 30 women all together. And we were like, oh, you could actually have people over around the table. You don't have to stand in your bathroom. Okay, so the K-pop party got a little bougier. Okay. And I had not done one like that yet when someone else that had rippled down throughout these other women did her first one. She had 15 women over. It was probably 3 weeks after I got started. And I was nervous to do that. I was hesitant to do that because I'll be honest, I still hadn't looked at anything about the product. I was just making phone calls about the business because I knew I needed to go. And I didn't know anything about the product, but that it was making my face glow. And I was just helping people do the step-by-step process of it. So I was hesitant to plan a party. I didn't know how to talk about it. But my friend got sick that night. She said, I need you to fill in. So I'm driving 30 minutes across Kansas City and I'm looking for Angie, the product specialist, and I'm hitting play, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jeju Island, tiger grass, oil. Like, I am trying to memorize proper terminology to conduct a K-pop party. I walked in, there was a charcuterie board, there was wine, there was 15 women just having fun together. They barely let me talk. I stood at the end of the table and I just would be like, okay, everybody put your hands out. I'd squirt the oil in. I couldn't talk over them. They were all just goofing. Somehow we got through the ritual. I was like, this is a nightmare. This is chaos. Nobody's even listening to me. But the good thing is we had order forms sitting by each woman. So we got done with the ritual, and the person throwing it, who was brand new, she had just invited all her friends over, and she had the lotion sitting out, the shampoos sitting out, and we mentioned them. So we put the order forms down, and they're all still chatting. And I said, you can mark what products you liked that we did, or there's just the signature ritual that all comes in a bundle. Every woman just said, "Oh yeah, we like the bundle," and they were feeding off of each other. And that night, I guarantee you, the average ticket. Then they were adding the shampoo and the lotion to their sheets, and then I was like looking at this brand new plan. I was like, "Get your phone out, like." Let's start putting in these orders while they're here. Let's get the cards going in case anything happens. And so we started that. I mean, she like doubled hitting senior manager in her first night at her first party. And the average order was probably $600. And that's not typical, but it was my first experience at a party. And I had these built up stories and fears on why I wasn't ready to lead some kind of formal party because I had just had success at my kitchen sink, like just doing it with friends. But it just showed me like you don't have to be an expert. It was the environment. It was the energy. It was the camaraderie of women getting together and just doing some self-care and being friends and feeling beautiful. And everybody glows because the product does the heavy lifting. So your only job, like you're going to get so many tips and techniques from the top leaders in the company all throughout Team 1% in this challenge. I just want you to remember it's about posturing, it's about your energy. It's just about allowing women to have that moment of self-care and have fun. And the product truly does everything that you need it to do. So your job in the next couple of weeks is to just create the environment, plan the party, and let the experience happen. I'm so excited to introduce to you our next speaker. And I had this like visual of her. She is absolutely phenomenal at this. I'm gonna give you a visual of what she does. Has anybody ever done rock climbing before or gone to a rock climbing wall? It's like you can see people climb a wall, and sometimes you will reach for that next rock and you realize you don't have another rock to reach for. And so you kind of have to come back down and go in the other direction to the next rock. And then once you get there, you have like four other options and you can pick up momentum again. And that's what Brianna Michael does. I don't know if anyone's ever called you a rock climber, Bri. Probably not. But I just realized you're a phenomenal rock climber in this business because one person may just use the product, but she will taproot into the next person or the next person until they provide her with momentum to keep going. And she is a senior director here because she is an incredible rock climber. And so I'm excited to hear from her tonight and all her secret tips and goodness.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm like blushing and I legit thought you were getting ready to introduce Christy because I'm like, she's the rock climber with those. Oh, and I'm on the big screen and I'm like blushing. But thank you so much. I will never forget that story. That was amazing. So you guys, I'm a visual learner. I'm going to give you some scripts. So I'm going to share my screen so that way you guys don't get a cramp in your hand because you're like, wait, what did she say? Write that again. I'm going to have it on the screen so you can just take pictures, take screenshots. We're going to talk about these K pop-ups. But first, I want to tell you the easiest game plan on how to hit director. Do you guys want to hear it? It is literally like X plus Y equals Z. Is that right? I'm not a math person, but here, I'm going to give it to you guys. Oh, but first I want to tell you this. Okay, so on this flyer, Susan went over this flyer, okay? Do you see the bottom paragraph? I want to make sure that you guys caught this. Any guest that books a pop-up from your pop-up will also go into the cash drawing. Did you guys catch that one? I feel like that may have gotten lost on some of you, and I want to make sure because this is going to catapult your business and put you in front of new people. And here's that equation I wanted to give you. This is the easiest equation to hit director. Host 2 pop-ups a week with 3 guests at each pop-up. Do that for 6 months, and that equals director. This has actually been tested. So Kai, who is very analytical, mathematical, has actually tested this and found these results to be true. And then we just heard new senior director Dora Lynn up on stage talking about how she, how did you hit senior manager? How did you hit team leader? How did you hit director? How did you hit senior director? And it was pop up to pop up to pop up to pop up. This is how you go fast. You can decide, if you want to add a 0 on your paycheck, do this. If you want to hit another rank, do this. If you need new eyes on your business or your products, do this. And if you are doing this business alone and only relying on your warm market, I feel like you would go through your guest list pretty quickly trying to do this. Am I right? You're like, wait, well, how am I going to find new people to talk to? So that's what I'm going to jump in and we're going to talk about is how to tap into other people's warm market to have these consecutive parties. So you're constantly, like Abby talked about, tap rooting down into meeting new people. So let's talk about how to do this. So I gotta give a shout out for Jen Barsamian, who put a couple of these slides together that I'm stealing. So thank you, Jen. And she was supposed to be on tonight, but had a family event, so she had to be there for that. But so here's what you're trying to do. You aren't always looking for somebody who wants to say yes to becoming a planner, but you are looking for somebody who's just willing to open the door to let you come in and bring the products and do the pop-up and let the products really do a lot of the selling. And sometimes just that demonstration piques their curiosity enough where they'll kind of like raise your hand. Here's a line that I've used for forever. I love it. Is I love to ask people, I'm like, so am I going to make money off of these people, or are you making money off of these people? And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, are we going to sign them up under me or are we going to sign them up under you? I said, I don't care. I mean, I'll take the money, but if you want the money, I'm happy to sign them up under you. And so that's always been kind of like a cheeky way for me to ask without asking if they want to join the business, if they want to be an affiliate. So we want to find people who are willing to open their door and open up their network to allow you to come in and demonstrate these products and let the products do the selling for you. So guys, who owes you a favor? Who has been saying, oh my gosh, I need to try the skincare? Who is already a networker and they don't even know it? Who is always organizing events and happy hours and like school plays and they're like the classroom mom, and who already has like hosts a book club, who is who owns a business that already has your ideal customers walking through their door? These are people that you can collab with. So I'm not going to go through this list, but I want you to take a picture of it because I just want to get your wheels turning, because we are going to tap into other people's networks. In fact, this is something that I just did. So I actually have a pop-up this week, and it's through a girl that I met at, it was a Make-A-Wish Foundation gala. And I really don't know her that well. I just met her through a mutual friend, but you know how you start following each other on Instagram. And I saw that she was hosting a Botox party. And I said, oh my gosh, I said, can I come? I don't get Botox, but I said, I will bring some collagen melting sheet masks, and I will bring some, like, I'll do some mini Korean skincare facials. It'll be so much fun. And she's like, are you serious? You're willing to do that? Like, I'm doing her a favor. And I said, yeah, of course. And she's like, that would be amazing. I would love it. Yes, come over this week. Here's all the details. So, guys, I'm now tapping into her warm market with a bunch of people I've never met because I don't know her that well. Same thing. I have 2 other pop-ups scheduled for this pop-up promo. I'm going to get more, but another one is through, it's a biohacking wellness clinic. So they do all things like alternative health there, and they're having a mom's day out event. And so I'm going to be like the Korean skincare expert. And so I'm coming, I'm going to do mini Korean skincare facials. And by the way, my tip is if somebody doesn't want to wash their face because it's going to be in the middle of the day and maybe they have other stuff going on, or maybe they came over lunch, I like to do their neck and their chest if we're going to demo the products, because hopefully they're washing their hands throughout the day. And I don't want them to wash that off. I want them touching their neck and their chest all day long, even that night before they go to bed, thinking, holy cow, I cannot believe the hydration that's happening. Like, how do I get more of this stuff if they don't buy it on the spot? So anyways, that's how I like to tap into other people's networks. Something else that I've done that I feel like works really well is if you go to a Pilates studio, yoga, or your gym, ask the owner if you can have a pop-up. I've done collagen, liquid collagen pop-ups. I've done the Korean skincare pop-ups. And strategically, I like to pick the 9 a.m. and the 10 a.m. classes because I feel like those women just spend a lot of money. And so you can get a lot of customers that way. And then you can, and guys, when we get a customer, by the way, we get a customer for life, because I don't know about you, but once people go on these products, they don't want to stop using them. So I'm just looking to get this and on as many wrinkles as I can, and they're going to feel a difference right away. So, okay. Let's talk about how to ask somebody to host. So this is where you want to grab your cameras. So let's say that you're going to reach out to your customers. Guys, your customers already love the products, and it's okay if they're not local to you. So if you have customers that live in other states, guys, Christy's going to talk about how to host an event with them virtually. So just stay tuned for that. But here's what you can do. You can say to them that, hey, I know how much you love your Riman products. Do you want to hear how you can get some products for free? I always like to pique their curiosity on the first line, and I like to wait for an answer. So I'm not just going to come out with like a whole book report on what my objective is. I'm going to ask them, do you want to hear how you can get it for free? Well, guys, so edify yourself. I'm giving away $1,000 in prizes. What if we host a little pop-up? I'll do the mini Korean skincare facials on you and your friends. Or if it's virtual, you can say, what if we host a little online event? I'll demo the Korean skincare on you and your friends. You just invite the people. I'll handle everything else. I'll do all the work. If it's in person, everyone's going to get a free facial. I just did one of these. Their friends loved it, and you'll get entered to win and earn some hostess rewards. And you're like, wait, we have hostess rewards? Not yet. I'm very hopeful that this is coming. But in the meantime, guys, we're entrepreneurs. We can create our own hostess rewards. Okay. So if you're a brand new planner and you're making 10%, you can decide, like, maybe a hostess reward is they get a free cleanser. Maybe you give them half your commission. Like I said, we're acquiring lifetime customers. So for me, the trade-off is so worth it, because if you're hosting an event with somebody else's warm market, you never know when your next national marketing director is going to walk through that door. all because you decided to give away a free cleanser or you decided to give away 10% in commissions. The trade-off is so worth it to me. I hope you can see that long-term vision. But here, if you know, let's say you're reaching out to friends and family, hey, I'm doing a giveaway with thousands in prizes. Want me to send you the deets? Again, wait, guys, get permission before you just like send a book report on what you're doing. Do you want me to send you these? Most people are going to say yes. Anyone that hosts a pop-up for me is going to get entered to win. You don't have to do anything. I'll handle it all. You invite the people. What day works best for you? Don't ask yes or no questions. Don't be like, is that okay? Or do you mind? Like, have some strong posture when you're reaching out to people. Assume the sale. What day works best for you? And see if they'll tell you, well, gosh, like, Fridays work well for me, Saturday mornings, get the day out of them. I love, now Jen wrote this one, for someone you know really well, be cheeky. Hey, you owe me a favor. I need a host for a Korean skincare pop-up and you're perfect. You get the girls there, I'll do everything else. Guys, cash in those favors. Don't be afraid to ask. So closed mouths don't get fed. I think Tim Herr says that all the time. Always stuck with me. Now, if you're reaching out to businesses, guys, I love this because you're actually doing them a favor. Businesses are constantly trying to figure out how to do, how to have customer retention, how to do customer appreciation events. You can say, hey, I was just thinking about you and I had an idea. Do you want to collab on a customer appreciation event for your clients? I'm going to bring the number one Korean skincare brand. It sold $3 billion in Korea. I'll do the mini facials. I'm going to bring in everything and run the event. So it's very little work for you. Your clients will love it. What day is best for your clientele? This is how you can tap into fitness studios, yoga, Pilates, boutiques. You guys, the sky is the limit. They love it that you're going to love on their clients and do all the work for them and bring all the stuff so they don't have to. And you're going to tap into new people. So don't overthink this, you guys. Just pick a date. Pick a date, do it virtual, in person. You can enter this promo as many times as you want. You can have a party every single day next week. We're going to do the drawings every single Monday, the Monday following that week. So if you do 5 parties that week, that's 5 entries. Just don't forget your selfie or your picture because we've had people say, shoot, I forgot to take my picture, but I promise I had one. So make sure you get that. And I get to pass it over to the fabulous Christy Bellison, who actually can climb those rock climbing walls if she is challenged to with those arms. And I'm so excited to pass it over here. There's nobody better when it comes to talking about building your business online through pop-ups or through your social media. And she is just a genius when it comes to branding and attraction marketing. So Christy, take it away.
Oh, I adore you, Bree. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys, in the chat, all the hearts for Bree. That was amazing. I hope you guys got those scripts because they are gold. And it's going to remove the barrier or the wall that's stopping you from starting. Scripts are magic, especially when they're that good. And so, Bree, that was amazing. Abby, so good. Abby was fire too. Please give her to all the hearts. I love her story because her story truly does remove any excuse that we can have when it comes to building our business because she didn't even get to be on social media for that first year and she figured it out anyway. And I think that that's really the purpose of this call. And I have the opportunity to talk a little bit about virtual. And I know this is probably a small group of people, a very specific group of people that I'm going to be talking to for the next few minutes. But again, I'm sure you guys are listening to all of these incredible in-person pop-up ideas, and maybe some of you guys are thinking, okay, yeah, that sounds amazing. I'd rather eat glass because that was me. Okay. So I'm just going to be super transparent with you that if you're looking at this and you're like, I don't want to do, I'm scared of people. I really, right. I want to, maybe you want, and I'm going to call it hiding behind a screen or hiding behind your phone. This is okay because this is exactly what I did. So my very first network marketing company was skincare as well. It was where I met Tim and Chris. And not once did I ever host we call them experiences. And it was because I was that girl, very introverted, wanted to hide behind my phone. Social media wasn't really a thing back then. It was 2016. People really weren't on social media to sell. It was all about family and connections and friends and all of the things that we love about social media. But what I decided to do was I thought, well, I'm just going to start a private Facebook group and invite just a few friends and we'll see what happens. And I will say this, for 3 years, all the whole time that I was in that company, I was the top seller for 3 years in all of North America. And I did it in a Facebook group. So if you're picturing a pop-up to look like, oh my gosh, people are coming into my house, I've got to pack up products. I need to set everything up. I need to find a venue. I need to get people there. And if that does not sound like you, again, I hear you. I am you. Okay. And what I want you to understand is that because if someone had told me that that was the only way to build this business, I wouldn't be here today. So because I don't build my business that way. I build my business virtually. And here's what I did to hit director here in Riman. I did master classes for my team every single week. You guys, it wasn't just me filling the room. It was linking arms with my team as well and filling the room with as many people as we possibly could. And the energy was there. And I'm going to walk you through specifically exactly what that looked like so that if you're thinking of this, you're like, gosh, I would love to do a virtual. I just don't know how to start. I really don't know what to do. Hopefully you're taking notes and you'll get some tips from this as well. Okay. So a pop-up isn't a location, it's an experience. I love what Chris said. Chris said it over and over if you were listening to him. Hopefully you were and you were taking notes because he dropped some gold nuggets. He said it's an experience. And that is all we're creating, whether it's virtual or it's in person. And once I really thought about it that way, I realized something. My phone is the room. This is your room. This is your living room. And that room, it doesn't have walls. It doesn't have a zip code. It doesn't have a max, like you're not going to max it out, right? So I want you to think about that for just a little bit. When you invite people to a virtual room, your customer from Florida can walk in. They can bring their sister from Texas, and her best friend from California can come too. And someone that you met on Instagram maybe 6 months ago can be sitting right beside them. And suddenly it doesn't matter where people live anymore. So if you also live in a really, really small town, I hear this a lot. Basically, what we're doing tonight on this call is we are going to wipe away any reasons or excuses as to why you're not doing events. Events, you guys, are the secret sauce of our business. It's just creating an experience for people, right? So here's the thing. When you guys are thinking virtual events, sometimes we think, okay, well, I'm going to create a Facebook group and you invite your entire friends list into your Facebook group, and then you just in your group you're showing graphics of product, ingredients, product. Oh, here's a sell, more products, you guys. And then you're wondering why this virtual thing isn't working for you. Okay. That is not an experience. That is a digital catalog. That is a QVC channel. So we don't want to be doing that. Okay. Nobody needs us to create another place for them to scroll past products. You guys have a website that does that, right? We do that already. So what people are craving is they're craving something completely different. They want to participate. They want to feel like they are part of something. They do want to learn something as well, right? But they want to see themselves in what you are showing them. And that is where virtual K-pop becomes incredibly powerful. So instead of what am I going to post or what am I going to say in my group, I want you to start asking this one question. What experience am I going to create? For any of you guys that have been on any of my virtual master classes, you know that it is an experience in that constantly, almost every other slide, what am I doing? I'm asking them interactive questions. I'm trying to get to know about their skin. I'm not giving a lot of information. It really truly is about the people that are on the call, right? And so whatever experience that you're going to create, just always remember it's really just about getting so curious about the women that are on there. And it doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's 5 women, but give them a reason to be there. Give them a reason why they're going to see something differently. Giveaways are a must. So if you are going to do virtual, give them a reason to be there, right? Just for showing up. Maybe you're going to give everybody a collagen mask just for showing up. but there is also some sort of an incentive of why they're hopping on the call, why they're taking the time out of their day to be there. Okay. So, here's what I want you to remember. So one is use the invite scripts that Bree did. They work virtually as well. So you guys can definitely share those. But then also maybe a simple question to ask is if you could change one thing about your skin right now, what would it be? Those are the types of questions that I ask on the virtual. And then everybody answers, right? And then you're calling out their name, right? And then you're starting to customize certain products that are going to be great with what they're looking for as you're finding out more about them on the virtual events. So watch what happens when you stop talking about the products and you actually start talking about her, the person on the call. You guys, that truly is the shift, okay? Because people want to see themselves in the experience. And that's really the simplicity of what we're doing here. So, virtual, introduce yourself. You're the testimonial. Share your story, right? It really can be that simple. You don't have to be Angie. You don't have to know all of the ins and outs of all of the ingredients and all of the products. You really, really don't. In fact, the simpler that you can make it look, the more that they can see themselves doing what you do. So you want to dummy every single thing down. You really do. Make it look very fun, very, very simple. If you're just doing it for just your customers, you're having a very, very intimate group. Here's where you can also do what Bree does, where you can taproot, right? And now you're going to individually reach out to every single person that was on your virtual, and now you're going to send them a thank you message. Thank you so much for coming. And you've gotten to know their skin a little bit. This is where you can recommend their products, and then also ask, would you ever want to host something like this for your friends? So now you're going to start to tap root into there as well. If you're doing Facebook groups, you can do the same thing. Maybe you have a Facebook group and you've got a lot of people into your Facebook group. Well, guess what? Individually reach out to all of those people that are currently maybe in your private Facebook group. If you have a Korean beauty Facebook group, and ask if they would ever like to host a 3-day event, or maybe even just a 1-day event. You'll create a new Facebook group with just them. They can invite their people, right? And just as you would host your own event at home, you would also send them the scripts, right? Here's the script that you're going to send to your friend to invite them to the group. Right. So you're coaching them along the way. And then a really, really cool thing is you guys, yeah, maybe they're a customer now, but they might see the bigger picture and you could say, hey, listen, we've got 25 people in the group. 20 people want to place an order. I just want you to see how much commission that maybe you can earn if you wanted to sign up as a planner, and we can put all of these customer orders underneath you. So you're already teaching them how to work the business, and you're doing it in a very, very fun way, virtual, a way that everybody can do it that way, right? So if you are wanting to know exactly the roadmap on how to do this virtually, here's what I want you to remember. Okay, 5 words: invite, bring people to the experience; engage, make the experience about them, not the products. Make it about them. Okay. Connect, take the conversation deeper individually. You want to connect with every single person that hopped on that call and have a conversation with them. Then you're going to recommend. So you're going to recommend, help the right people find out what actually is going to fit for their skin needs. And then the multiply is to ask if they'd be interested in wanting to host their own virtual event as well. It could be a virtual on Zoom, or it could be a Facebook group. Okay. Really, it's just depending on your expertise and where you feel most comfortable. All right. So that's it. That's the part that I have. Are you demoing the products on your virtual or demoing on a person? I usually come barefaced. So if I'm doing a virtual, I come barefaced. I've got my little Riman bow in, and I am doing the ritual with them. So one of the things that I love to do is I'm doing the ritual, but I'm asking them all of these discovery questions along the way. And then the discovery questions is what creates the interaction. So I don't need a script, because now I'm demoing the products, we're having fun, I'm interacting with them, I'm bringing them into the experience, creating the experience. And then, of course, you just reach out to every single person. Okay, so what are the 5 things? Invite, engage, connect, recommend, multiply. Invite, engage, connect, recommend, and the last one is multiply. That's where you're going to taproot. Okay, and that's how I got to director. Literally, I did the same thing every single week. I taught my team how to invite to a Facebook group. We do have a team Facebook group. And then we did just some really, really fun things to lead up to the masterclass. We would host a masterclass every single Thursday. That helped not just me get orders, but my team get orders as well. And then we just kept growing it and growing it and growing it. And it just same thing every single week. Keep it simple. So whatever you're currently doing right now, whether it's K-pop-ups in person or you're doing virtually, it really is the same thing. The only difference is that your room becomes your phone instead of your living room. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring up all the directors now, and we are going to wrap this call up. It's been so great, you guys, to have you here. And if you got some, I'm trying to do two things at once. Okay. I'm
Well,
adding
and
Bree.
Christy, really quickly, so you guys, to kick off this paid to party pop-up promo, that's a lot of P's to say, but we are going to go live in Team 1% every single day, Monday through Friday. You're going to hear from a different director. So make sure that you tune in. Those lives are going to be around noon. It could be Pacific, it could be Central, but just watch for those in Team 1%. You are going to get gold nuggets that could literally change your business from every single director who's going to go live in there. So we're really excited for that. And I feel like we didn't really talk about this, but can we do a giveaway to kick this off for anyone that shares what the date of their pop-up is going to be? You don't have to think about it, but we could make a post in Team 1% and go post the date of your party in the comments, and we could kick it off with a giveaway.
I like that idea. Let's do that.
But
We've
put
got
it in the
August
chat.
23rd. Look at that. Look at they're all coming through. August 31st,
Who
19th,
has theirs?
and the 22nd. Amazing.
Let's go.
Okay, Tiffany has 8/19 and 8/22. Allie has 4 happening in the next 2 weeks. Marie, August 26th. Mary, October 25th. Wait, is the
Maybe a
thing?
typo. You got to have
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
move it up. Move it up,
Love
Mary.
the vision.
And then
Holly's 9/13.
Bree, on the pin post, how do they check in?
So let's have them drop the date of their party in the comments, and then in the next 24 hours, we'll do a first giveaway.
Amazing.
Wouldn't it be
And
so cool if Chris could get his hands on like some of the new products secretly from the office, maybe?
I
That'd
will.
be
Ooh.
so cool.
I understood the assignment, ladies and gentlemen. I understood the
he
assignment. I
understood the
will be at the
assignment.
office tomorrow.
Okay, so you guys might want to go post that date because you might get a really good prize.
A little bit of extras
Awesome.
and goodies. I have to go ransack the office. So yes, it's happening.
Cream with
Go dig through
office.
Betty's desk. I know she has makeup in there.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Please make sure that you're in the Team 1% Facebook group. That is where you're going to be eligible to win all of these incredible giveaways. Tim's going to be announcing giveaway winners every single week. There'll be a pin post, like Bree said, at the very, very top. That's where you're going to check in every week. And we just want to see a picture of you, whether it's virtual or whether you're in your living room with a ton of your girlfriends. Just post that. And then, and that's about it. Is that all they need to
Have
do?
fun. Have
Yeah, and
fun.
have fun. Have so much fun.
All right,
Thank
let's
you
go.
guys.
We'll see you on the next call, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Team
Thank you,
1%.
everybody.
See you on the
Be a
Facebook
great
call.
month.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.